This is a really fascinating article. It's about the eastern frontier of ancient Rome and new findings that have been undertaken by this team. And it's all in the journal Antiquity, which I really suggest you go and find and have a read about. Anyway, it involves spy satellites and a biplane, so I thought I'd talk about it. It actually starts back in the 1920s with a French archaeologist called Antoan Pad. Apologies for my pronunciation there. And he was really interested in the Eastern Roman frontiers, particularly in Diocletian's road. And this was a fortified road that linked forts, and it was built in the latter half of the 3rd century AD. This gives a sense of just how long that road was. It starts or ends at the Euphrates River and passes through Palmyra before ending or beginning at Damascus, obviously depending which way you were going. In order to allow him to survey this area, Pad had a great idea. He was a pilot, so he went up in his biplane along with his camera and took photos. And actually this was, I think, the first time that anyone had done aerial photography in terms of archaeology. And it makes sense because if you've ever been at a site, you can only see what's in front of you. The minute you get above the site, you can make out features that otherwise you'd miss. In fact, when I was talking to Dr. Andrew Tibbs about Roman fortifications in Scotland, he mentioned how drones were really effective because even if you're 30, 40 feet above an area, you can make out square corners, details like that which you'd easily miss at ground level. Through this groundbreaking work, Pad was able to identify around 116 forts in that area. This is where the team came in, and what they did was build on this already existing knowledge. And they did so using declassified satellite images that had been taken during the course of the Cold War. And these were looked at in an area of 300,000 kilometers squared. After analysing a huge amount of data, they were able to identify 396 new archaeological sites. And of those, 290 were probably forts. Just to underline the great work that the team have done, the upper map is what Pad had found and what he plotted. The lower map is what they had in addition to what Pad had found. It's a lot more. What makes this work even more valuable is that this will give other people somewhere to work from, somewhere to start from. And you can imagine that now with this map in hand, even more discoveries could be made. Just before I finish, I need to add 2 important caveats. The first relates to dates. It's largely argued that these are between the 2nd and 6th century AD, though there could be debate on that. The second is when those were active. So the map I showed you earlier doesn't mean that all of those sites were being used and were active at the same time. There would have been drop-off points. Some of them would have been built when others had yet to be built, and some of them were being built when others had fallen into disuse. So just bear that in mind. In any case, if you get the chance, go and find the article, have a read. It's really interesting. If you like this kind of stuff, click follow. And if you want to ask a question or leave a comment, please do.